Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Picture International with me, Darius. Today's the 24th of July, 2023. So, yep, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, now then, also just before we jump in further, let me just quickly mention our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us and, yeah, ask us anything, guys. I mean, we'll try to help you out. If we don't know the answer, then we'll try to find the answer for you. So, but anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this. And now let's watch the charts. Now, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. And yes, so far, so good. Look, overall, we're still trading above this upside support line drawn from the low of the 15th of March. And at the same time, we're trading below this downside line, which maybe is a little bit on the tentative side, but still a downside line drawn from the high of the 16th of June. So, the only thing here that I wanted to mention here as well is that this 32,923, 960 levels, these two levels, this area in between them, is kind of still providing that good resistance, the one that I talked about last week. So for now, I mean, if you're looking for some higher levels in the near term, maybe the better option is to wait for this pop here above this territory and then do something about it. Then we could aim for this downside line and then kind of go from there. For the downside, I would like to see a break of this upside line, the one right here. And at the same time, if we do break below this upside line, then we could also break below the 50-day EMA. And if that gets cleared, then certainly, yes, further declines are possible. So yeah, for now, long story short, I am looking at these kind of violations here, and while we remain in this territory, I'm just observing the price action. China 50 index. So China 50, looking at the picture here as well. Look, so far this downside line, the slightly steeper one, drawn from the high of the 10th of May, is okay, kind of ish doing a good job, because basically yes, we had it violated. I mean, this downside line was violated, but then you can see that it started respecting it again. So although it's not ideal, I'm still keeping it on the chart, and I'm still keeping it on the chart here. So I want to see if this continues to carry some sort of significance here. If it doesn't, okay, great. You know, we could focus on something else here, maybe this other downside line. But at this point, look, a drop below this 12,475 territory did open the door kind of to some lower levels. And if we continue to trade below that hurdle, then yes, I'm leaning towards the 12,204 zone right here. Oh, excuse me for my voice. So, ASX 200 now. ASX 200. Let me just double check something very quickly. I think that in terms of economic data this week from Australia, I think that's the only thing we're going to get are the CPI numbers, Australian CPI numbers on Wednesday. That's probably the biggest event for Australia. Look, in general, this week is going to be, yeah, very, very interesting one. And I'll get to in the US indices in a bit, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But at the moment, guys, I mean, looking at the ASX 200, look, the downside line continues to provide good resistance. So if we want to go to the upside, a break of this downside line is needed. And then, yes, potentially more buyers could join in. However, what I said to you last week, I said to you that if we do drop below that 7,293 territory, I'll consider a bit of a retracement here to the downside towards the 7,215 zone, or maybe towards this these EMAs here on my daily chart, and then we could kind of go from there. But yeah, at this point, look, if you're not really comfortable with any of these scenarios and you think that, for example, this could like explode to the upside, okay, look, that's absolutely fine. Just probably keep your eyes on this downside line. I mean, if that gets clear, then potentially more buyers could join in on that one. But at this point, from the very, very short-term perspective, I am leaning a little bit more towards the downside. And again, the ASX 200 will remain very subject to what's going to be happening in the US and Europe, because that's where the main news are going to be coming out this week. I can see there in the chat room, Daredevil Dave, good morning to you too. Good morning. Yeah, I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I hope everybody else had a fantastic weekend as well. And let me just put this into the chat room here. I want to say hello, good morning, everyone. Yep, just there we go. So yeah, I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm sure I did, but yeah, not every weekend, of course, becomes a good weekend. But when it happens, when a good one happens, then you're thinking, okay, that's great, So, but like I said, yeah, unfortunately, not every weekend is good. But anyway, coming back to the markets. So the ASX 200, that's it. Dow Jones Industrial Average. Okay, look, I mean, this week, we have some, most likely everybody can skip like Monday, Tuesday, I think. I think it's like the main thing that everybody will be watching is like going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So on starting off with Wednesday, as I already mentioned, the Australian CPIs are coming out, but of course, everybody will be watching the U.S. Building permits. No, I'm just kidding with you, of course. Now the interest rates are coming out. The Fed within the interest rates. Yeah, the building permits are also coming out. New home sales as well. That's going to be something interesting to watch. But yeah, for sure, the main driver could be the could be. I mean, I'm not saying anything because anything can happen. But could be the FOMC statement and the interest rate decision. But of course, also the press conference is going to follow after, like half an hour after the interest rate decision. At the moment, I mean, yeah, surprise, 99.8, right? I mean, they're keeping a 0.2% chance that there is not going to be a rate hike. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, why just put it as 100? Okay, not everything is guaranteed. So yeah, they're keeping like a little chance. I understand. Okay, let's play the game. But in general, yeah, guys, look, the market has kind of rallied quite significantly, right? And everybody, and this is what I said to you after like the previous meeting. I said that, look, the market kind of already knows that we could see a rate hike, so kind of the market is already adjusting to that. So it's like, rate hike, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll do some layoffs, we'll rebalance everything, and yeah, we'll continue pushing further. And this is what we had here. And look, we had this beautiful rally here in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Reached my targets, some of my targets, yes. So like, for example, this one, the 35,412. Okay, great. Now the question here is then, as you can see by the arrow, I said to you that if we do stay below this territory, then yes, another decline here could be possible. Now we got a violation. This is not my picture perfect kind of scenario here, but I'll take that. I'll take, what the market gives me. I'll take it and I'll try to adjust to it. So at this point, okay, this was not ideal here. I mean, I was hoping to see maybe like a further move north. If, for example, if we do stay above the 35,412, and we did stay above it. But yeah, we kind of we kind of overcame it and then we drifted back down. So it's not really, like I said, not the most picture perfect case here. However, I would say this way, that as long as we stay below the 35,412 territory, and just let me remind you what that level was here, and it was this one, the highest point of April of 2022. If we continue to trade below it, then yes, I will consider something like this. However, I think that I need to redraw this a little bit. So if we do start pushing back above this 35,412 territory right here, then that's from where I will consider more like buyers joining in. So if we do push and stay above this hurdle again, like I said, I'll aim for that 35,751 zone, which is the high, or should I say the highest point of February of 2022, and then we will kind of go from there. Look, something kind of tells me, like, or let's say a little hint here, that if somehow, let's say, if we do continue to push higher all the way before Wednesday, then maybe on Wednesday when the Fed comes out, maybe we could see a nice sharp decline or something like that. But again, just going from previous analysis is yes, and what I've seen in the past. However, look, patterns break, and I've seen that for sure. So in a way, and until we get the news, and until we get the results, we cannot really do anything. In general, I think that this has proven to be quite an important thing for everybody. Like, if you have the capacity, let's say the monetary capacity of your trading account to enter a position before the news comes out and then allow it to run, and because the amplitude here could be quite significant, and if you can allow that, okay, maybe you want to gamble, but the only thing is that I try not to do that, and because it's eventually, you might end up on the wrong side, so it might take you out. It might some big gaps could happen, and just I would say wait for the news to come out and then maybe do something about it. But at this point, I'm gonna observe this one all the way to Wednesday, and then I'll go from there, because like I said already earlier, that I think that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday could be the most exciting ones to watch. Now, in terms of the S&P 500, kind of similar story, but this one's a little bit more clear, because this 4,588 zone or 89 zone I talked about, it's the high of the 5th of April of last year. It has been a good area of resistance. So in a way, if you're looking for some lower levels, guys, I think that, there is potential for this one to go lower. However, again, that's in the normal case scenario, because I would say this way, that's why I have this name, the heading of this webinar is like the week that everyone had been waiting for has arrived, because again, everybody was hoping to see what's going to happen here during the interest rate decision, during the press conference, probably more, and that's why I would say it's not an ordinary week. So ordinary technical analysis might not apply. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. And also in combo with all that, we have earnings. Honestly, that's like another something that could steer the market in either direction. So I cannot stress this enough. How stay safe, guys. I mean, only risk what you can afford to lose and have your stop loss. It's better to take a loss than to take a bigger loss. Captain Obvious here. But anyway, looking at this picture for now, let's put it this way. If everything stays as it stays, then certainly, yes, as long as we remain below the 4,589 territory right here, I'm going to lean towards the downside. However, if we start popping back above it, then yes, I'll go a little bit higher. Not much, only towards the 4,630 zone. Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, We had a good move here to the downside last week, of course. Netflix, Tesla, the big disappointers, yeah, forced a poor Nasdaq to the downside, and there we go. But look, we remain above this territory, above this highlighted territory right here, the one that I spoke about previously. This area is between the 15,431, 475 levels here. So if we do continue to trade above that, then yes, I will consider a move back up here. So if we do start falling below this highlighted zone here, maybe then yes, I will consider a larger correction to the downside, and certainly yes, maybe a retest of this upside line, or the and this retest actually more of the 50-day EMA, which coincides with this upside line. So at the moment, again, I'm also waiting. I'm also playing the waiting game. So I'm also observing the price action, and of course the earnings. I mean, let's have a look at the earnings. So Monday, we do have a few big companies coming out. So, for example, the Domino's Pizza, Whirlpool, those guys. But I think Tuesday is going to overshadow everything. Tuesday we'll have Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa, Texas Instruments, NextEra Energy, Verizon, Chubb, Waste Management, Moody, 3M, General Motors, Kimberly. You name it. Check out the earnings calendar on that one. Wednesday also Meta Platforms, Coca-Cola. That will be just like I said. We'll have the Fed and we'll have the earnings of the big boys. Yeah, the week is going to be exciting. I think so. But let's wait and see. Let's position ourselves carefully, and certainly, yes, let's be a little bit on the cautious side. Now, the German index, DAX, still in the range. Well, wow, nothing new, to be honest, in this one. Still in the range. Also, I think that's going to be the same story. Is going to be waiting for something to happen, and guess what? On Thursday, we do have the ECB. So basically, it's going to be Wednesday when we'll have the Fed's interest rate decision, and then we'll jump into the ECB interest rate decision on Thursday. Then that will be followed by the US GDP numbers, and yes, initial jobless claims, of course. And then after that, we'll get the ECB press conference. So yeah, it will be very, very interesting. And if you think that the interest rates will stop there, no. Friday we'll have the BOJ coming out. So, okay, amazing. Very nice week, honestly, very nice week. But look, in terms of the BOJ, I'm kind of going backwards now. So kind of going from the BOJ side, the rate is expected to remain at minus 0.1%. With the ECB, they're of course expected to raise the rate by 25 basis points, so from 4 to 4.25, and of course the Fed, yes, from the Fed is expected to go from 5.25 to 5.50. So, look, it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen in general. We know the Fed might stick to it. ECB, most likely, yes. The Japanese central bank, I think so too. You know, I think that no surprises are going to be there, but I think that everybody will be waiting for the statements, for the what's going to be the tone of the speaker. What they're gonna say in terms of, let's say, how they're gonna go further and stuff like that. So look, at this point, DAX, we're stuck in a range, and I think that one of the news, I don't know which, but maybe the Fed could move it out of the range here. Let's wait and see. But until Wednesday, I think we'll be stuck here. Look, I'll make this call. I'll say that, look, probably until Wednesday we might be stuck here in between these two areas. So yeah, if we do clear and stay above this 16,332 zone, then yes, I'll go a little bit higher. For the downside, a drop below the 16,000 and let's say 100 zone somewhere here, and a drop below the 50-day EMA may open the door towards this upside support line drawn from the low of the 20th of December, which at the same time is also the lower side of a possible rising wedge pattern. FTSE 100. So, in terms of UK news, let me just double check something. I think we had something, but not too significant. The S&P Global CIPS UK manufacturing PMI number. Yeah, that's maybe not the most exciting. I think that's yeah, I think the UK is not going to have something too exciting, I would say. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Last week was exciting for UK, but I think that yes, here the FTSE 100 might just follow the footsteps of the Fed, or sorry, not the Fed, but the indices, U.S. indices, and yeah, then we'll see what we can do with that one. But at this point, we're just observing the price action. We're getting a nice little retracement, so that's all fine. Yeah, if we do remain above all of these EMAs here on my daily chart and above this downside line, then yes, certainly a nice good push back up here could be possible. Now, look, I talked about this before, that whenever we break a downside line or like an upside one, or in this case, let's say a downside one, we break it, we tend to kind of test it from the other side. And if it holds, then this, let's say in this case, the downside line could act as a nice trampoline. So we could rebound and push back up here at this point. So yes, I would say let's wait and see. Let's see if that's going to happen or not, but I'm going to make that call. I would. But in general, I am keeping an eye on the EMAs here, the 50, the 100, and the 200-day EMAs, and then we'll kind of go from there. Yeah, US dollar, guys. Looking at the picture here, okay, we had a good push last week. We climbed above this not highlighted. Let me highlight it. Actually, this key resistance territory. I spoke about it, and we climbed above this zone. So the question here is, can we see a further move north? Well, okay, that's a good one. That's, I think, what's happening here? Why my magnet is not working? There we go. Let me just, so my favorite Fibonacci's. My favorite Fibonacci's are showing that we're stuck here near the 38.2. Good. Now the question is, can we go to that 50% retracement? But actually, you know what? I don't need the Fibonacci's this time. I think I'm just going to stick to what I have here. So as long as we stay above this highlighted territory right here, above this, between the 100.47 and 100.67 levels, if we continue to trade above this, then yes, my next target is the 101.4959 area, somewhere around here, around near the 50%, sorry, not the 50%, 50-day EMA here shown as the red line. And then I'll take it from there for the downside. Now, ideally, of course, if we start falling back below this hurdle, then maybe, yes, we could, consider maybe a move lower here. If, maybe we'll move back down towards the 100 zone or maybe even below that. So, yeah, I'm going to stick to that little game plan. So if we do fall back below this highlighted zone right here, I'm going to slowly aim lower. I'm not going to, let's say, drastically aim to the downside. No, I'm just going to aim for the 99.86 territory, 87, something like that, and then we'll take it from there. Let's jump into gold. Gold, guys, yeah, the stronger dollar last week did not really help the commodity to maintain, or should I say, the bulls to maintain their strong position. Well, that's fine. That's okay. Look, it's all good because it proved to me that this is quite an important barrier to watch. So if you're looking for some higher levels, a break above that territory is required. This upside line can go away, no longer needed. And if you're looking for some downside, I would say this way, that a drop below, well, we already dropped below this 1964 territory. I spoke about that previously. Now, if we do remain below this this territory, my next target is, and let me just adjust this arrow, I am only going to aim here towards this 1945 zone-ish. approximately around here, because around here we also have the 50-day EMA and the 100-day EMA. So these are going to be my levels. These are going to be my targets initially, and then we'll go from there, because what I want to see here is I want to see if this is going to end up forming something maybe of like a head and shoulders pattern, with the neckline being somewhere around here. But again, maybe again I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit too fast, that's why I will just aim for this territory first. But if it somehow climbs back above the 1964 zone, I'm just going to take a neutral stand here, because look, for me to start looking at some higher levels, I need to see a push above that 1985 territory right here. And then I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside. At this point, I'm leaning a little bit lower, but only up until these EMAs for now. Silver also looking good for the sellers potentially, but look, I would say this way, that a drop below the 24.53 territory here might do the trick for a few more sellers. We could aim for the for this 50-day EMA, and that's probably what I'm going to do here, as long as we stay below this 24.60 territory here. So as you can see, so far that one's doing a good job and providing good resistance. So if we do fall below the 24.53 zone here, marked by the highest point of June of this year, then yes, I will get even more comfortable with a lower levels. With the upside, now this is where I need to adjust a few, adjust one line. This one right here, the 25.27 area, approximately around here. If we do clear it, then yes, a forthcoming higher high will be confirmed. Oil. My beloved oil is finding good resistance. Look at this 77 territory. I spoke about that zone, and I said to you that if you're looking for some higher levels, I need to see a break of that territory first, and we got a break, but we failed to stay above it, so that's no good. I need to see the body of the daily candle staying above that area. If we do stay, great. I'll go further north. At this point, yeah, it's proving to be quite an important area of resistance. Look, you cannot exclude the possibility of this one drifting back down, maybe even testing this key support zone near the 73.86 territory. We could test the 100-day EMA as well here. So yeah, for now, I would say, maybe it could form that range. Who knows? But at this point, look, I'm cautiously bullish, right? But I need the confirmation breakout. If I get that one, then great. I will go a little bit to the upside. Let me just lower my chair a little bit. There we go. So, and for the downside, look, I'm going to start maybe examining some lower levels if we do fall below the 200-day EMA right here. Cotton. This is something that I look at occasionally, and of course I get it, maybe not the most exciting instrument to trade, but I do like these these commodities, these exotic, let's call them exotic commodities, exotic trading instruments, because they do present themselves with nice opportunities. Like, for example, wheat. Wheat was also good. I talked about wheat last week, and this week I want to pick up on cotton. Look, this one is at an interesting spot. We're in a range, and this range has been in play from around beginning of November. This is interesting. This is very interesting, and overall, you can see that maybe later on it could present itself with a nice opportunity, to the upside here. But look, let's not rush into anything. For now, I would say let's keep an eye on this one. It might, range here for a little bit, but if it starts, let's say, clearing the upper side here of this range, then great, more buyers could join in. We could go towards that maybe 100 level, or maybe even higher. Of course, certainly we do have some good areas, good resistance barriers somewhere around here and right here. Oh, no, I don't like this. Let me just adjust this as well. There we go. So these could be our next targets. The area not far from that 120 level, but look, in general, before even like getting excited with this one, I think yes, a clear break here is required first. Bitcoin. Still, look, I'm not really touching this one. I talked about a lot about this last week, and I said to you that as long as we remain in this territory, I'm not really picking up on this one. And for me, at this point, I need to see a clear breakout here, and then yes, more. If we do get a clear break here through the 31,500 zone, then yes, potentially more buyers here could join in. But if we do drop and stay below this 29,500 zone, then of course yes, the bears could kick in here, because we would also fall below the 50-day EMA here, and potentially that could be seen as a bearish indication. So long story short, we're waiting for this one to give us a clear breakout. Ethereum, similar story, but look, I talked about this little similar in a way ish, but we have an upside line here, short term, a bit of a, maybe I wouldn't call it a tentative now, it's actually a good one. This upside line drawn from the low of the 28th of June. It's a very, very short term one, of course, as you can see yourselves, but it so far is doing a good job, together with the 100-day EMA shown as the green line, which at the moment coincides with this upside line. So if that gets cleared, well, guess what, more downside here could come, and we could go towards this upside support line drawn from the low of the 22nd of November. So this medium term upside support line, and yeah, this could be a nice good target. But again, if you're looking for some lower levels, guys, then yes, a break of this shorter term upside line is required. If you're looking for some higher levels, now with higher levels, I think I need to adjust a few things here. I need to find a good barrier. Maybe this one could be the case. 1904 looks interesting, to be honest, but hey, if we do clear this territory right here, then yes, 1928 zone is something to keep an eye on. You know what, I really don't like at this point the upside scenario, because again, it's somehow not really picture perfect here. So okay, maybe I'll keep an eye on this 190. Let's round it up here a little bit, 1905. Then yes, more buyers could join in on that one. But hey, maybe something like this could be possible here. And look, at this point, I really don't like the upside scenario, and that's why I am just that's why I'm mumbling here about this Ethereum, because I cannot really see nothing positive yet. So once I get something like that, then I'll pick up on that one. So XRP USD, beautiful. I talked about this. Look, I said to you that if we break this upside line, yep, I'll go lower. Yeah, there we go. We're going lower. Now, how far lower? Look, we've failed to stay above this 0.8256 territory. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that for now on the chart. And if we once again push through it, then yes, great, I'll go a little bit to the upside. The only thing is that I think that we might be able to look at this downside line right now. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. So if you're looking for some higher levels, maybe actually a break of this downside line could do the trick. Yeah, actually, why not? For the downside, I would say as long as we remain below this downside line, yes, we could drift further south, and my further south is near the 0.6686 territory right here. Litecoin, so we came back inside the pattern, and there we go. I talked about this, and I said to you that yeah, we can get a breakout, but this, as you can see, happened a false breakout. And yep, that means that what? That means that we at the moment are looking for some clarity, and we're looking for some breaks here through this barrier, through this downside line, or should I say the upper side of the falling wedge pattern. And at the same time, I would like to see a push above this 94.35 territory right here. If that gets clear, then yes, potentially more buyers could join in. For the downside, a drop below the 89.28 territory here, that's going to be my cue for some lower levels. Now let's jump into Forex, a bit into Forex. So far so good. This worked out perfectly. Look, I mean, we reached my target, the 200-day EMA, these EMAs. And for now, what's next, basically? At this point, look, we're drifting lower, and we remain below this 0.6740 territory. Okay, that's absolutely fine. But in a way, we have this upside line as well, which could still provide good, a good support. So in other words, I'm kind of maybe considering a little bit of a retracement here, a little bit of a rebound maybe from this upside line, and then yes, we could see a a move back up here. But of course, if this upside line gets broken, then certainly yes, lower levels here could be met. Now in general, what I'm really curious, and this is just an idea, I mean, I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but hey, this is a key, very important area of support. What if something like this happens? Let me just get rid of this. This is not needed. What if something like this happens and we get ourselves a very, very wide range? Well, I'm not excluding that. It could be the case, but again, let's go step by step. Let's not kind of keep that in mind. Let's keep an eye on the shorter ideas, shorter term ideas. And at this point, I'm kind of, like I said, leaning a little bit more to the downside. And if we, like I said, if we do fall and stay below all of the EMAs, then yes, my next target is the upside line drawn from the low, the 31st of May. AUDNZD, looking at the picture here, yes, beautiful test of my territory, fantastic. I mean, I cannot get a better gift than this. I mean, this was perfect. And I said too that if we do push and stay above this, all these EMAs and above this 1.0842 territory, then yes, my next target is this highlighted zone right here. Boom, fantastic, great. We reached my target. So what's next? Sorry, something here. So what's next? Basically, I would say this way: if you're looking for some higher levels, a break of that highlighted territory is required. If you're looking for some lower levels, I think that at this point I will examine this 1.0842 territory, approximately around here. If we do fall below this, then yes, at the same time we could fall below all the EMAs, then yeah, potentially more sellers could join in. So just kind of keep that in mind. AUDCAD, beautiful hold up right now happening near this upside line. So okay, that's all fine, that's all good. My next question actually to myself, what's going to happen here? Look, the way I want to approach this, and this one's a little bit on the difficult side, because look, we have this upside line. So far it's doing a good job. If we continue to trade above it, maybe some upside could be possible here. However, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on the EMAs instead. So the 50-day EMA shown as the red line here, that's going to be my scenario for the upside. If we pop above it, then yes, I will go a little bit higher, and I'll go towards this 100-day EMA shown as the green line, and then the 200-day EMA. Maybe this downside line could be a good one, but hey, I will stick to this 50-day EMA, and yes, like I said, that's going to be my cue here for the upside. For the downside, okay, let me just adjust a few things here. I think that this is quite important. Yep, so the 0.8891 territory, if we do drop and stay below it, then yes, definitely I am leaning towards the downside. I think I will highlight this territory. Actually, I'll use this highlighter here, and yes, if we do fall below this zone here, then yes, more sellers could join it. NZD-JPY, one of my favorite ones, and so far it's okay. Look, I have drawn this one last week. I picked up on this one, so I'm still waiting for a clear break through one of the sides here of this triangle, and I mean, we can see that it's kind of coiling up here. So yeah, we need to see some clarity here. If we clear one of the sides, then yes, great. the next short-term directional move could be considered here. At this point, I'm just observing the price action. USDJPY, so beautiful move, 61.8% reached, fantastic, mission accomplished. So what my mission was last week, I said to you that if we do pop above this 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci, then my next target will be the 50, and if that gets cleared, then it's the 61.8. Everything got reached. Fantastic. I can now get rid of my Fibonacci here. Let me just, there we go. Let me just remove this one. There we go. Let me bring this back. So what's next on USDJPY? Well, in general, if we're already doing good results here, then hey, maybe we could continue pushing higher, testing this downside line. And maybe if that could provides good resistance, a nice decline back down here could be possible. So I'm gonna examine something like that. This arrow will go here. If we do clear the downside line, then yes, I'll get a little bit more comfortable with the upside look. If, for example, this decides not to go all the way towards this this downside line straight away, then maybe it will retrace back down, test the 50-day EMA here, and then maybe rebound and push back to the upside. But if it starts falling below the 50-day EMA, then that's from where I'm going to get more excited with some lower levels, and I'm going to aim for the 100-day EMA and then maybe the 200-day EMA. USDCHF, so similar story in a way, kinda. Look, Fibonacci, good, working so far. Yes, 23.6. We're currently sitting at this area. Now, if we are looking for some higher levels, in this case, I would say the 23.6. Keep your eyes on that one. If we continue to trade above it, then yes, my next target is the 38.2, which is approximately around the 0.8725, something like that. Good potential target, and then we'll just go from there. If we clear that one, I'll go further north. But if we don't, maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. Now, if this in case decides to drift straight away to the downside, then certainly I will keep an eye on this 0.8631 zone. If we do fall below it, I will consider a move back down towards the 0.8555 zone. USDCAD, so yes, interesting. So far, so good on this one. I'm quite surprised, to be honest. But anyway, look, for now, I am keeping an eye on this 1.3232 zone. If that gets cleared, then certainly, yes, more buyers could join in here. And then we could aim for that 50-day EMA or maybe even the 100-day EMA. We'll see. But I need to see a clearance of this 1.3232 level. For the downside, I need to see a drop somewhere below this zone, below the 1.3161. And if that gets cleared, then certainly, yes, I will consider some lower levels. So basically, in other words, I'm just observing these two barriers for now. Jumping into GBPCAD. GBPCAD, yes, beautiful hold up here near this 1.6956 territory. Okay. Also, the 50-day EMA added its, it's kind of support here. So in other words, if we do drop below this territory again and we do fall below this 1.6956 territory, then yes, of course, I'll consider a move towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 10th of February. And then, yes, we could consider a move, maybe a rebound here or something like that. But at this point, look, I'm keeping an eye on this hurdle. If we do fall below it, my next target is the 100-day EMA together with this upside line. If that gets cleared, well, guess what? Further declines are possible, guys. I mean, we could see, a move all the way towards maybe the 200-day EMA. But at this point, let's go slowly on this one. If you want to consider some higher levels, well, at this point, to be honest, I think maybe this could be the case here, the 1.714748, but even that one I really don't like much. So I'll with the upside, I'll wait for a little bit, and I'll wait for that one because I want to see what's going to happen around here. GBPUSD, also similar kind of story. We're near this upside line, so question is, can we see something like this? Fibonacci's worked out perfectly. Look, I just want to, if you remember, I've drawn this one. I said to you, hey, maybe we have to draw it this way, or maybe we have to draw it that way. So either way, kind of actually all of them were working out nicely. This 38.2, if we draw it from the low of the 25th of May to all the way to the high of the 14th of July. Yeah, it provided fantastic here near the 38.2. It provided fantastic support. We rebounded, but to be honest, I think I'm not going to overcomplicate things. And by the way, look at this. This one's also perfectly working. I mean, okay. Hey, what about that one? Let me just double check. And no, that's a little bit too much already. But this one, yeah, the 23.6, if you draw it from the low of the 8th of March of this year, yeah, that one's working out nicely as well. Actually, I think that it might work out later on as well. But you know what? At this point, let's not overcomplicate things. And let's keep an eye on this upside line. If we do break through it, then yes, I will go lower. This arrow needs to go away. So with the upside, the only option for me right now is a push kind of, a rebound from this upside line. And then if we continue to trade above the 1.2848 zone, maybe then yes, I will examine slightly higher levels and then I'll take it from there. GBPJPY, just a quick update on that one. Yes, beautiful result here, and we rebounded from this highlighted zone here on the bottom. I said to you that, hey, maybe this is a descending triangle, but I've seen so many descending triangles working out the opposite direction. The same story with the ascending triangle. So that's why I think that nowadays it just kind of wait for the clearance. And this is the thing that I was talking exactly. So we cleared the downside line, the upper side of the upper side of this triangle, and yeah, we popped above it, and we stayed above the 182 zone. So if we continue to trade above that, then yes, my next target is the 184, and then we'll take it from there. For the downside, I need to see a drop below this 179.47 territory, somewhere around here. At the same time, we could fall below the 50-day EMA, and potentially this could open the door towards the 100-day EMA. Euro Aussie, again, waiting for that one to do something. Look at this. I mean, I talked about this idea. Even I've threw out this idea here earlier, in last week, basically. But said to you, keep your eyes on this zone here, and maybe we have ourselves a range, maybe we have ourselves an ascending triangle pattern, but either way, a clearance here is needed. So if you're looking for some higher levels, I need to see a nice good push above the 1.6555 territory, and I need to see the body of the daily candle staying above it. If we do get that, then yes, of course, I will go further north, initially aiming for this 1.6671, but then ideally targeting this 1.6787 territory marked by the highest point of April. For the downside, a break of this upside line is required for me. EUROJPY is beautiful move here. Look, I talked about this. I said to you that if we would clear this downside line, I talked about this pair a while ago, and we cleared the downside line, and I said to you that if we clear the downside line, my next target is the 158 territory. Look at this. I mean, that is just spectacular. This is just textbook, picture perfect trading here. So yes, the next question for me now, can we break this? If we can, because at the moment it's a very nice area of resistance, if we can do that, then certainly yes, we could go higher here. And look, for this one, I think, well, we don't have much history here in our chart, but that's okay. That's fine. I think what we can do here is we can start aiming for that 159 after that, and ideally the psychological 160 level. But that's only if we do clear this barrier, because, hey, maybe we're not going to clear it, and maybe we're going to drift back down. In that case, I will start looking at some lower levels if we do fall somewhere below this 155.59 territory right here. And then, yes, I will consider a move a little bit lower. And finally, EURUSD, guys. EURUSD, this one is interesting because, look, let the levels load up here. I think that it's lagging a little bit. Yeah, let me just let my levels load up one moment. So because I don't want to start drawing, because again, I do have some levels here, but I think that it's taking a bit of time to for some reason to load up. But hey, okay. That's, by the way, that's the internet problem I think that I have here. It's like it's a little bit on the slower side, and we can see that yes, it's a little bit lagging. So let me just do this very quickly. You know what? Okay. You know what? Actually, even better. I'll remove all the drawings just in case so that they wouldn't show up, and I'll start fresh, because the one thing I want to pick up here is this hurdle, this 1.1095. So far, it's doing a good job. It's providing good support. But if it starts getting cleared, certainly, yes, we could start aiming lower. Let me just highlight this one for a future reference. So if we do clear and drop below this hurdle, then yes, my next target is this one right here, the 1.1012. And we could also test the 50-day EMA here, shown as the red line, and then we could go from there. Now, in terms of the upside, I would say I will take a very, very conservative approach. I'll wait for that 1.1275, 76 territory, and then I'll do something about this one. And then I'll go higher, and then I'll aim for, some of these territories right here. Let me just put this one on the chart. There we go. This is going to be a very nice, good target. The psychological 115 is a good barrier, but again, a clearance of the 1.1276 territory is required first. Look, the reason why I have my arrow drawn only up until here, up until this 50-day EMA, if we do drop below the 1.1095, then because we also have this upside line right here. Okay, look, I mean, we could drift lower. We could find some support here. Maybe we could drop a little bit lower here. And then, yes, we could, see a larger correction here to the downside before another possible leg of buying. Daredevil Dave, a correction. Look, what a correction is. A correction is basically when you have a trend. Let's say in this case, I have a short-term trend. I have established that this is a short-term trend from here, from this the 31st of May here. We have been trading above this upside line. So any move lower, any kind of throwback, because a throwback is from the top when you're going. I don't know. I know it's a bit of a terminology thing here, but according to the textbooks, throwback is when you're going from the top to the downside. The pullback is when you're from the bottom to the upside. But in terms of, but that all these are corrections. So a correction here is, let's say, like I said, yeah, it's we're in an uptrend and now we're drifting a little bit lower. This is a correction, and this is, for example, if we continue to slide here and we fall below this 1.1095, this is a larger correction. This could be like a larger correction all the way towards this territory somewhere, and if this provides good support, a rebound here could be possible. So basically, as long as the trend remains intact, any kind of throwback or pullback to the trend line is classed as a correction before another possible leg of buying or selling, respectively. So in this case, like I said, this move lower could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So in other words, something like this still is not off the table. But from the shorter term perspective, yeah, we could see, more downside here and stuff like that. That's why I look at daily charts, because daily charts do explain a lot, and actually they do give you a bigger picture. So on a 1 hour chart, you'll see this one as something like this, and you might not see, the bigger picture. So you're seeing a drift lower or something like that. Okay, but maybe you're thinking, oh, you know what, it's time to buy. But actually, no, according to this, it's not time to buy. It's just maybe a temporary, here it's a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. So because if we examine the period from here, we'll see a downside line here probably. Let me just put this on the chart. There we go. So from this perspective, this move higher is a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. But from the larger perspective, that's what I said already before. So this move lower could be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. But again, this correction might last for quite a while. So, you kind of need to choose the periods, the areas, you know, and then kind of go from there. So guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and thank you very much for your questions. Honestly, if you do have any questions, if I know the answer, I'll answer it. If I don't know the answer, I'll say I don't know the answer, and I'll come back the next webinar and I'll try to give you the answer. I'll try to research that a little bit, but I don't know everything, unfortunately. But guys, I do know a little bit. But anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for, you know, your views, your comments, your rockets, you know, your spaceships in there. So yeah, thank you for that. I hope you'll have a fantastic trading day. Remember what I said to you in the beginning of the webinar, that in general, probably the main activity today and tomorrow will in the US indices will be from the earnings, especially on Tuesday. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, yeah, I mean, keep an eye on the economic data, new releases, and especially, of course, the Fed, and then the ECB, and then the BOJ, and then, you know, like, and other stuff. So yeah, let's see how this week goes, and I'll pick up on some stuff tomorrow, of course, some of this stuff, and we'll go from there. So thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
If you want to continue to please the trading gods, subscribe to our channel for a blessing.